Hello, hello. Good morning, everybody. And how are you doing? Well, I guess it's not morning everywhere. How are you doing today? How are you doing? Happy Tuesday. This is Haja Scott with Of Lace and Grace TV, and we are on Pick Up the Mic podcast today. I am excited to be before you today. I'm excited to come before you with some information. But I just hope everybody's having a good morning. I am, or a good day so far. I am. I'm here sipping my cinnamon tea, which I like to drink in the morning, some warm cinnamon tea. For those of you all who caught our knowledge bank that we did on cinnamon probably a few weeks back, you'll know that cinnamon has natural anti-inflammatory properties. It's good for circulatory. It's antibacterial and antifungal, those properties as well. It's great for blood sugar control. Also for cholesterol control. It lowers the triglycerides, the bad cholesterol, the LDL cholesterol. So there are so many uses of cinnamon. If you haven't checked it out, go and check out our knowledge bank and just search for cinnamon. And you'll see some great tips in there. I think we probably had some more to add, but cinnamon tea, that is my go-to. So it's making my morning great. I'm glad that I hope that everybody is well. We are picking up today, though, on Holy Basil. And so this is our third installment for Holy Basil. And we're doing the focus. We did it in 3 parts because for those of y'all that checked it out, it's a lot of information. It's not called Holy Basil for no reason. It is like the Holy Grail. It does so much for the body. And so we had to break up in 3 parts just not to overwhelm with that. And there were just more things that we needed to research. There are things that I wanted to try out with Holy Basil even before bringing all of this information to you. So today is part 3 of Holy Basil. Welcome in. Welcome, welcome. Let's see. We're going to focus on eye inflammations, the benefits of Holy Basil related to eye inflammation, stomach and digestive system, and ways to use, and of course our warnings. However, we need to do a recap because it's been a few weeks since we've done part 1 and part 2. So we're just going to give you a little reminder about Holy Basil. So Holy Basil is also known as Tulsi. This is a variety of basil in the mint family. It's a perennial plant that was cultivated for medicinal use and historically in India for religious use. And of course some other areas as well, but very well known in the Indian culture, region, I should say. It is not the same variety as Thai holy basil or Thai basil. And by the way, we're not talking about any religious practices that are related to holy basil. We are only talking about the herbal benefits, the medicinal benefits to our bodies by using this herb. So let's see. Holy basil it is not the same variety as Thai holy basil or Thai basil. It's also different from sweet basil that's our common cooking herb. Sweet basil also does have medicinal properties and purposes, but it is really a different variety of this plant, basil. And so let's see. Holy basil, it is edible. It is can be used as an herb. However, its flavor is a little bitter. That's like with most basils, but a little bit more bitter than some of the other basils. It's been known to be used in teas, chewed. You can ground the leaves and store for later. Again, use as seasoning and flavoring. It could also be used as a vegetable. It can be used as a supplement, like in a pill form. You can actually put the crushed holy basil in capsules, and it can be used as a supplement. It has both internal and external uses, and it is loaded with vitamins and antioxidants. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that right now in this recap. Inflammation. It is a powerful anti-inflammatory when taken internally or even rubbed on the skin for swellings and inflammation. Um, for skin rashes, it relieves irritations, it soothes the rashes, and it provides antibacterial, antifungal, and antibiotic properties. It's actually used to treat ringworm, poison oak, and other skin conditions. Um, to use it, you can boil it in hot water, make a poultice of the mashed basil leaves, and you can apply that directly to infected wounds. And so that's one way that you can actually use that. We'll talk about some more ways later. Um, let's see. For infections, the essential oils and the phytonutrients in holy basil have excellent antibiotic, antifungal, and antibacterial properties. So this is how it's housed, or where it's housed, or what benefits it has. This is how it I don't know how to say that best or explain it best. It's how it's um, it is what is in holy basil. It is extracted through the essential oils and the phytonutrients, and those have the antibiotic, antifungal, and antibacterial properties. There we go. Found a good way of saying that. Um, let's see. For respiratory, it helps to relieve congestion in lungs, things that are chronic and acute, like bronchitis. Let's see. Um, even uh, even if you had conditions where there was damage to the lungs, including damage by smoking, environmental factors, or even illness. The presence of these oils, once again, these essential oils and the vitamins that are in holy basil, that's what brings out these properties that are helpful to the body. For stress and heart disease, holy basil contains vitamins and antioxidants that protect the heart from harmful free radicals. Um, and with that said, it also inhibits the growth of cancers related to oral cancer, and even aids in the death of cancerous cells. So those free radicals, that's being able to eliminate those or protect the body from those. That is also anything that can do that is very helpful to the body. Um, one of the antioxidants that holy basil contains is eugenol, which is beneficial in reducing blood cholesterol levels. And so it lowers the LDL cholesterol and raises the beneficial HDL cholesterol. It can also reduce, or it's been reported to bring a reduction in total cholesterol in the circulatory system, kidney, and liver. Type 2 diabetes, it is, you know what, it's so great as far as effective against type 2 diabetes by reducing blood sugar, in patients with pre-diabetes or type 2 diabetes. um, this is how great it is. Like on the packaging, I'm looking at my package right here, which I'll actually have some pictures that are scrolling of holy basil, some of the dried leaves that I do have. The warning, or like the main inscription on here besides the title, says holy basil may modify glucose regulation. That lets you know how powerful and how effective it is with that. Um, and because it helps reduce excess insulin in the blood, and it decreases insulin resistance. That's basically, helping to bring the body back in balance. In this area, which helps with blood sugar levels to stabilize, like over long term. That's the point, to bring the blood sugar levels to a balanced, stable level. And that is what holy basil is very effective in. Dental, it actually produces healthy gums. So like, it's called holy for a reason. It's a detoxifier. and a diuretic, so it helps reduce levels of the uric acid in the bodies. Uric acid is one of those responsible for the growth of kidney stones. It also helps relieve pain from kidney stones as they pass. It increases urination, which helps to flush toxins from the body and cleanse the kidneys. And so that's just kind of our overview on holy basil, what we talked about in previous sessions, session 1 and session 2. And now we're just going to introduce you and go forward with session 3. What we're talking about, once again, eye inflammation, stomach, digestive system, and more. So starting with the eyes, holy basil helps prevent eye problems. And these are things like cataracts, macular degeneration, glaucoma, vision problems, and ophthalmia. Is that how you say it? Ophthalmia, sorry. It also helps with boils and conjunctivitis and other eye inflammations or infections. And how you can use this is by soaking the holy basil in boiled water and then using it as an eye wash. Very similar to how we were talking about using it as a poultice for skin inflammation and infections. You can actually, again, boil it in water, mash it so that it you can do the mashing first because it releases oils. But even if you boil it and then actually do a little bit of mashing afterwards as well, that's going to release a lot of the oils. You want to use the oil, the essential oils again that are in holy basil that's now in the water. That's going to be effective as, again, using as a poultice or as a eye wash in this case. It contains high levels of vitamin A and C, which we know are essential. Those are essential vitamins for our bodies. We'll go over that more with some of the food intake and things like that, and some of the vitamin supplements when we get ready to go into doing a knowledge bank on that. It's also high in antioxidant content, and as we said, those essential oils that are present there in the composition of holy basil. It's effective for digestive and stomach issues. It naturally decreases stomach acid and increases mucus secretion. And it's also very helpful to decrease the effects of peptic ulcers. It helps decrease those effects from the ulcers. And the recommendation here is eating the whole plant for relief for the peptic ulcers, diarrhea, nausea, and even vomiting. And so that means the leaves, the flowers, the stems. Actually, if you buy the holy basil that is already dried, you'll see pieces of stems in there. And so that's all helpful. The whole plant is very helpful. It is a pain reliever. It helps to relieve, it has pain relieving properties that work well for headaches and minor pains, and also helps to relieve migraines, sinus headaches, and kidney pain. We talked about that again with kidney stones, just helping with the pain as kidney stones pass, but then just being effective for reducing the growth of kidney stones by relieving the body from that uric acid. What else do we see here? Antidepressant effects. Now, this is something that every herb does not necessarily have. It's known as an antidepressant and anti-anxiety. I guess its uses, like it's useful in those areas. It has those properties. It helps the users. In studies, it's been shown that it helps the users to feel less anxious and more relaxed in social situations. And it also helps relieve stress from physical, mental, and emotional sources. So that is holy basil. Like, we did the recap. Again, you can go back and read about so many of the benefits you see today with the benefits that we have um, from the from the stomach and digestive systems, the eye inflammations, and now even talking about its pain relieving attributes and antidepressant effects. Like, holy basil is the deal. So here's a few tips on harvesting. If you're going to harvest, if you are going to plant and grow holy basil, or somebody is that or just whatever, here is, and this is a great plant for us to actually, an herb for us to plant. This is actually, as you see with these benefits, this is great to have in your garden. But here's some harvesting tips. Make sure to harvest from a source. So if it's from somebody else, that is grown away from pollutants, pesticides, and herbicides. Now that's for any type of herb or any type of vegetable, fruit, any type of planting. You just want to make sure that it's away from pollutants, it's away from pesticides, and free of herbicides. Making sure that what you consume and you put in your body is actually healthy, because some of those things, again, depending on the soil that it's in, it's going to pull nutrients from that. These are things that can be present in the results of these herbs or the fruit or the vegetable. So we need to be real careful with that anyway. They say to look for vibrant green leaves without any holes or dark spots. That's pretty common in what we want to do anyway. Harvest the young leaves and the stems from the top of the plant, and cut stems, or you can cut the stems at the ground level. And so I guess that's the young leaves and stems that are at the top of the plant. Those are apparently those are potent. But then also the stems and whatnot at ground level. So just kind of keep your eye out when you're gardening, you're watering, you're protecting it, you're watching it as it grows and develops, and then you're ready to harvest it. You'll see the parts of the plant that you see are ready for harvesting, that are ripe, I guess, and ready for harvesting. And lastly, fresh holy basil, just to let you know, it's going to keep for several days in the refrigerator. But after that, or even as a plant, if you know that you're going to use it for long term, or again, you've got a lot of fresh sources, and so you're like, let me dry some of this. You can dry it for future use, and I don't have an expiration date onto that, but just keep it sealed. Keep it in a sealed plastic container if you can. Usage. So we talked about a little bit before. You can use it externally as a poultice on the skin. You can use it as an eye wash if it's some type of conjunctivitis or some type of eye inflammation. You can use it as that. You can use it as a tea. The recommendation is about 2 to 3 teaspoons of dried holy basil in about a cup of boiling water. Steep it for 5 to 6 minutes, strain it, and drink. Or I actually have the organic tea bags that I make my teas in. And so I'll put it in there. I don't have to strain anything, but that's something that you can use as another option, is getting organic tea bags. Let's see, you can use it as a supplement. And if you use it as a supplement, you can put it in the capsules. And that is the dried form or crushed holy basil. You'll put in a capsule for like a daily supplement. The recommendation for preventative use is 300 to 2,000 milligrams a day per serving. Per serving. And the treatment for treatment use, it is 600 to 1,800 milligrams per serving. Again, 2 to 3 times a day. 2 to 3 times a day is like that is the ideal for what you should take for a daily supplement. So you can break that up, in each capsule, so that you can make sure you're getting those daily values or those daily portions. And the last recommendation for usage is as a vegetable or spice in like stir fries, saute, stews, veggies, casseroles, and more. This is how I use it. As well as in a tea, but I actually love to cook with it. So I use it just right there in my stir fries. So I'm stir frying some vegetables and my onions and peppers and just everything else that I'm making. I put the holy basil. It's ground. It's dried. I use it in a spice, just like I would use basil or oregano or any other spice. I use the holy basil. I've actually seen someone on a YouTube video actually using it, the whole leaves, just as you would see like a whole basil leaf or a whole bay leaf or something like that, and use the whole leaf, stir fried it right in there like lemongrass or something. You know, I love lemongrass. We'll have to talk about that as well. But lemongrass and its properties, the leaves right there. In the stir fry, you know, it's in a lot of Asian dishes, and they use the holy basil leaf just like that. So I may try that, some fresh holy basil. So that is my last of the recommended usages. However, here are the warnings. Now, we know it's safe for eating and medicinal uses, but it is recommended to avoid during pregnancy, when you're trying to get pregnant, and or when you're breastfeeding, because the effects of holy basil are unknown on the child, or unknown to the child or the unborn child. And they say that with a lot of herbal medication, with medications in general. There just has not been enough testing done on it. So you always want to be careful in that area. Now, we know that it is effective for lowering blood sugar levels. As I said, it is the main note here on the package that I have here. So we know that it's effective, but it is really recommended to, well, one, always check with your doctor first anyway. But when you are taking insulin and other anti-diabetic drugs, it is recommended to make sure that you are cautioning your usage, cautioning maybe even your portions or how much you're using. My recommendation is to actually monitor yourself when you first start using it, and just throughout. So if you have a way of monitoring your blood sugar on a consistent or a periodic type of in a periodic way, I would monitor it and start with small dosage, small dosage, or small dosages, and see what the effects are on your body. See how your body's handling it. See how it's affecting your blood sugar when you take that and you take your other medication. How much it's lowering, and that could let you know, oh well, this is actually effective. Well, maybe we could substitute some of this for, again, this medication. Some people have to take it twice a day. You know, maybe it's just one of the dosages you start with. You know, maybe you could look at and see what your doctor has recommended as your dosage, and they may want to lower it because you found a way through through eating, through receiving the nutrients that your body needs through food, through supplements, through herbs. You are actually healing yourself. They can lower your dosage, and even maybe get to the point where we recommend this isn't needed anymore. Again, that is the goal. That is the end game. That's the plan. So do be careful, but I would suggest monitoring yourself when you're starting with this. If you have hypothyroidism, they say that this may lower your thyroxine levels, and which could worsen the condition. So it is not recommended that you use it with hypothyroidism. And definitely, once again, check with your doctors with any of this, because they may have recommendations for you on how to use, or again, just maybe recommended use dosages that you could use, or coupling it maybe with some other type, changing your medication or coupling it with another type of medication that might be helpful to your body, that isn't as potent or isn't as strong. I'm talking about the drugs or the other medication. Maybe it isn't as strong. It isn't as potent. It doesn't have so many side effects. Maybe you can have a lighter dosage of it, because you're now receiving the balance that your body needs through another source, and that is through a natural source. Let's see what else. Oh, it is recommended to stop taking holy basil at least 2 weeks before any scheduled surgery because it can interfere with blood clotting. So that is it. Those are all the warnings for holy basil. Again, with any herb, you want to check with your doctor. So if you have a medical regimen, so you want to make sure you let them know so that they can give you suggestions. They can give you warnings. They can say, no, don't do that, and then you could always question and say, why not? But that's all I have for you on holy basil today. I hope you guys have enjoyed. I hope that you got some benefits out of the information that we've shared with you. I hope that you're able to find ways to incorporate, it into your diet, into your medical regimen, as a healing alternative. Maybe again being able to stop taking some of the chemical drugs that we are taking, are drugs that are loaded with all kinds of chemicals, and switch over to an herbal alternative. So yes, I'm Haja Scott, and this is Pick Up the Mic podcast on Of Lace and Grace TV. We thank you for listening. We thank you for joining in. We thank you for your support. We ask you to share this information with somebody. Share this information with family members and those that have medical conditions that they're suffering through, or that they're just trying to get a handle on. We all want to get a better handle on our lives, on our health, and balance our bodies out better. And so share this information with your people. For the podcast, Pick Up the Mic, you can find us on Spotify, Apple TV, iHeartRadio, YouTube Music, Amazon Music, and Castbox. And Of Lace and Grace TV, you can catch us on IG, on Instagram, and on YouTube as Of Lace and Grace, spelled all the way out, OFLACEANDGRACE. And on TikTok, we are Of Lace and Grace 8. And with that said, I'm going to let you enjoy the rest of your beautiful day, this beautiful day. We will be back with more knowledge bank information that is related to herbal remedies. It's related to nutritional healing and just healing alternatives, we'll say, using natural medicine and plant medicine. And if we do not talk before then check out some of our older knowledge bank and some of our older information that's on our social media pages. But we will be back with you again soon. Have a good rest of your day, and we'll talk later. Bye now.